Oh, yes. It reminds me of the time in the fall of 1989. I had just come to Houston with my buddy Chad Prowse, and he was still is a metalhead. He's in a metal band now. They probably play Korn covers. I've fallen out of touch with him. But Chad Prowse was a big metalhead, and my wife and I, who at the time was just my girlfriend, we'd been in Houston for about 3 weeks, and she had a cousin, still has a cousin, who is very liberal. He's Greenpeace liberal and hates my politics, as you might imagine, but he was friends with the band Ministry. So he had sent her an email saying, hey, my buddies are going to be in Houston, and if you'd like to go to this concert, I can get you in backstage, the whole 9 yards. So she said, hey, I don't know who this band is. They're called Ministry. And I told my buddy, and he was like, dude, they're huge. So we decided we're going to the Ministry concert. He knew all their music. I didn't. I listened to Willie Nelson and Waylon Jennings at that time. So Ministry was a little outside my range, my genre, as it were. So we decided for kicks, we're going to dress up. I dress up as Axel Rose, not Rhodes. I dress up as Axel Rose, and I was so incredibly skinny at the time, you wouldn't believe it. Not an ounce of fat on my body. I wear a white blazer. Who knows where I got it? No shirt. I had a great tan because we just started in the fall. Had a great tan. At 18, I doubt I had any chest hairs. And I didn't even need to shave till I was probably 22. Just didn't kick in. So I wear a headband. I tie a scarf around my head. It's hanging halfway down my back. Now, I didn't go through the hippie phase. So it wasn't that that's how I dressed. That was just me being a goofball. So Chad and I go to the Ministry concert. We go walking up, and he's even more outlandish than I am. We go walking up, and the Houston Chronicle, which was a paper that they used to have here in Houston, was out front, and they took pictures of us as we were driving up. And it was on the front page of, for you young people, they used to have these things called newspapers, and they would bring them to your door. It was every morning you would wake up, and you could walk outside, and there would be like a translucent clear plastic bag, and inside would be this newspaper. And back then, in those days before the newspapers died, they would be really thick. And most of it was classified ads, because before you had a computer, everything would be printed out on paper. And so you would search through the classified ads for people who are looking for a roommate or to unload a car or whatever else. It was real thick, and you would have these things called comics or the funnies back toward the back. But it would be broken into sections, and there was like an arts and culture section. And then all these people, and they would actually go out to events and take photos and write about it. There we were, top of the fold, which for old people, that was how you referred on a newspaper. The important part of the newspaper, when you folded the newspaper and you brought it out while you were getting the ink all over your hands, you would look at the top of the newspaper, above the fold, because it was folded in half. That was the important story. There was me and my buddy Chad on the front page, and at the Ministry concert, because at the time it was a big deal. The place where it was held was a place called Numbers, which I don't think they're still around, but in the 80s and 90s, that was the big place to go to alternative music shows. And there we are at the Ministry concert. Chad went to concerts like that. I never did. Wasn't my thing. Hell, I went to Petra concerts when I was in high school. So for those of you who know what that is, you can put it into perspective. And there we are, and it was the craziest thing I'd ever seen. Here I had come to the big city of Houston. We'd come to this alternative band. Everybody in there, I guess this was pre-goth, but the women, I'd never seen women dressed like this. It was like the spawn of Elvira. Like, way too much weird makeup, everything black, black t-shirts, black nails, black everything. And then the white, weird, I tell you. Felt like I was in some zombie movie. And we go inside, and they have a chain-link fence, probably 18 feet high, between you and the band. Like on Roadhouse, where they put, what was that guy's name, Derek? Jeff, the blind guy that sang Angel Eyes? You know what I'm talking about? Well, anyway, you remember they would throw bottles at it and it would shatter on the chain link fence, and then everything went quiet, and he said that was Dalton or whatever, not Dalton. Anyway, I'm distracted. That game,
Roadhouse.
it was just like that. They had this chain link fence in between you and the band, and during the concert, for some reason still that eludes me, people would take a run and jump up on the chain link fence like they were trying to break into America. And they would crawl to the top of the chain link fence. They would stand there and scream, and then they would drop down. And they would drop down on somebody else, and he would cuss at them. And then somebody else would do the same thing. And the whole time, I felt like I was on the border to Mexico. People were just crawling up this fence, and then they would drop back down. It was the craziest thing I'd ever seen. I never once felt compelled to participate in that. And best I could tell, that was their sign that they were having a good time. Yeah.
Roadhouse.